Hi, my loves. Joy Maletta Girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I am coming to y'all with some commentary about um about what's going on, current events, y'all. So I I don't really go live not like this anyway. Um, you know, it's just not something that I do. But if y'all caught the live of me in Miami, then you know that I said I was going to be doing more lives um in general. So this is that, right? So listen guys, I just saw the footage of Sonia. I think her name is Sonia or Sonya Massey. I don't want to pronounce her name wrong, but I'll just say Sonia for the sake of the video. I just saw this woman literally be unalived in her home. And I literally do not have the words, y'all. I do not have the words. Like, I just do not have the words. I don't have the words. I am the type of person that I don't really go out. I don't really watch the news. I kind of stay away from it. It's too much for me. So, it is what it is. I understand that, you got to know what's going on. You got to know what's current and everything like this. However, I stay away from the news because I got to protect my mental health. The shit that I just saw was unbelievable, y'all. Okay. The thing that I just saw was so unbelievable. So, this woman apparently had called the police because she thought that there was an intruder in her home. And so the footage shows them checking, like outside of the home and inside of the home. And then they say, you know what? Let me get your ID. Let me make this a little bit easier for us, and let me get your ID. And in the video, she's like, oh, I don't really have my ID. I don't really know where it is. She's kind of stumbling and fumbling. She's kind of moving about. He's like, okay, let's just do one task at a time. And so she remembers, oh, hey, wait a minute. I have something on the stove. And so the police officer jokingly says, um, well, go ahead and do that because, I don't want to have any fires or whatever the case may be. And so with him saying that he didn't want to have any of the fires, you know, it just seemed a little like, okay, like unjust and playful. He was being, fake nice, like how they tend to be. And as she is going to turn, she turned off the stove and she was, I guess, was about to dump out the hot water. Um, dump out the water. If you're making noodles, if you're making pasta or something, you drain the water and you let that be that. I'm sorry, y'all, excuse me. And so she notices that he's like stepping away from her. And she says, well, why are you stepping away? And he says, oh, I'm getting away from you and you have this boiling hot water. And she says, huh? She's like, I'm getting, and he said it again. I'm just stepping away from you, because you have this boiling hot water. And she says to him, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And she repeated it again. It's like, what you say to me? Like it just switched instantly. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, is what she said. And here's the thing. Um, you know, I think that we need to kind of talk about the cultural differences and how we are, how we talk in our religion. I knew full well what she was saying. That energy, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Ain't nobody trying to pour no hot water on you. I knew full well that is what she meant. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, is what she said. And he said, what? I'll shoot your face off. I'll blow your face out, or something like this. And she begins to put the water down because like, put that water down. So she can't put it in the sink. And so I don't know if any of you all have ever handled hot boiling water that you're possibly making, that you're cooking noodles in, you take your time and you put it down slowly. And what I saw was her taking her time and putting it down slowly. Okay. And when I tell you this man commenced to um tearing into her, I don't even want to say it. Okay. But tearing into her, I don't even want to say it. And he's immediately like, fuck, fuck, fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's like, I'm gonna go get the kid or whatever. I'm describing the video because I don't want to play it. I just don't want to play it. And he's like, fuck, oh God, like, you know what I mean, or whatever the case. She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, because she was saying, like, I'm not playing that game with y'all. I'm not about to sit up here and play with y'all. And the man shot her down in her kitchen. She was in pajamas, in a flowy robe, home cooking pasta. Okay. And she called them because she felt like there was an intruder in her home, turned into, let me just get your ID. And that's what they love to do, y'all. You call in because, you know, the neighbor is a noise complaint. And now all of a sudden they smell weed and they need your license. Like, that's not what I called you here for. And this is, so for me, such a wake-up call, because let me tell y'all this right here. Kamala is now the candidate for president. Okay. And although we have our feelings about her, I mean, we for certainly had our feelings about Joe Biden, for sure. However, Kamala has this prosecutor, background, and she was progressive. That's just the narrative that people are spinning. I mean, you got to do your job, right? And however, she is definitely, definitely a way better choice than Donald Trump. And the reason being is because Donald Trump is calling for police to have full immunity for misconduct. And I think it's no surprise that this happened in the way that it did, at the time that it did, the day after Joe Biden steps down and Kamala, pops in. And now here we have these officers clearly mishandling a situation, right? Clearly. And I don't even know what to say other than, y'all, we really need to galvanize. I don't want to be like, oh, we gotta vote, okay, go out and vote, nigga. Like, but y'all, Trump is calling for police to have full immunity. If you have a chance to watch the video, I'm telling y'all, trigger warning, it's a lot to watch. It's not graphic and bloody, but you felt her when she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Like, I ain't paying you no mind. Ain't nobody trying to burn you with no hot water. And here's the other kicker, y'all. The guy said, I'm gonna go get the kid. He said, for what? It's a headshot. It's a headshot. And I don't know much about, the police and how they're trained, but they are trained to hit center mass. They are trained to hit center mass, not a headshot. That is called an execution. That's what that's called. SONYA Massey, 36, called 911 on July 6th because she believed there was an intruder in her home. She was fatally shot by the sheriff's deputy who has been fired and charged with murder. Okay? So the footage shows the moments on July 6th when Sean Grayson, this is the sheriff's deputy who was fired after the episode and is now charged with murder, shot the woman, 36, inside of her home. Massey, who was Black, had called the police early that morning because she believed an intruder had entered her home in Springfield, Illinois. Mr. Grayson, who is white, and another deputy who has not been identified arrived at Miss Macy's home and searched the front and the home in the back. They knocked on her door and told her they didn't find anything. The deputies followed her inside and asked her for her ID while she sat on the sofa. That's what the footage shows. She's sitting down on the couch. She fumbling. She got some shit going on, whatever. Ms. Macy then got up to remove a pot of hot water from the stove. As she was handling the pot several feet away from the deputies, Ms. Massey said twice to the deputies, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. What this part is leaving out is she asked, why are you moving back from me? And he said, because I'm moving away from that steaming hot water. Miss Grayson told Miss Macy that she better not using explicit. You better, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He said, shut the fuck up, or you better not, whatever. I don't understand why he thought maybe, when you are rebuking somebody in the name of Jesus, she thought he was about to get a sprinkle of the holy water. They like to think that all Negroes, we do the hoogity boogity. Okay. And he felt the need to grab his gun out of his holster and shoot her in the head. Okay. Within seconds, Mr. Grayson drew his gun, ordered Miss Macy to drop the pot. So she's literally like, she's not going to move now with the pot. So she's going to drop it down into where she's standing at, y'all. As she's dropping the pot, he fired at least 2 shots at her, the video shows. Mr. Grayson was then heard talking into a radio saying there was a woman with a headshot wound. Miss Macy was later pronounced dead at the hospital, according to the state police. The state attorney's office said in a statement on Monday that evidence showed Mr. Grayson had not been justified in his use of deadly force. Wow. He was charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery, and official misconduct, and he entered a plea of not guilty, y'all, on Thursday. Okay? The county sheriff's office said that clearly the deputy did not act as a trained officer or in accordance with our standards. All right. So he was being held on Monday without bond. His lawyer has declined comment so far. And Ben Crump, of course, comes and swoops in and says, he held a conference on Monday and said Mr. Grayson had fear for his life. He could have taken another action, such as tasing or calling for backup. Until we get justice for SONYA, we rebuke this discriminatory criminal justice system in the name of Jesus. Wow, Mr. Crump, referring to Miss Massey, told the deputies before she was shot. That's unbelievable. President Biden said that, he was heartbroken and we call for help. All of us Americans, regardless of who we are, where we live, should be able to do, we should not, I can't even read, she should be able to do so without fearing for our lives. Sonya's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often Black Americans face fears for their safety in many ways that the rest of us do not. That's so true. I can't even call the police. For what? For what? Y'all, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this. And y'all know I love us for real. This is unbelievable, the way that this man did this. And the fact that Trump is calling for police immunity for misconduct altogether is very, very scary. We are living in real, real serious times, y'all. And before it's like, oh, yeah, Trump's old. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, y'all. It's really time. Because somebody like Trump will come in and be like, oh, well, he feared for his life. It was justified. If that's the case, they can just come in and shoot anybody down whenever they want to. If they just say, oh, well, I felt threatened. Us being is a threat. Us being non-white is a threat. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I'll shoot your face off. Imagine that. Imagine that. And they're talking about, being this white, returning back to white conservative Christian political. What? Y'all, I really, on my small corner of YouTube, y'all, I'm so serious. I was bullshitting before, gang, Trump like going, this is ridiculous. And I'm not saying Kamala's going to come in and she's going to fix everything, but I know that she's at least not going to go for, calling for police to have full immunity, and, the Democrats had pushed the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which, the Senate, or they were all filled with Republicans, and it was kind of like, thrown out in 2021. However, we need legislation against the police. And I think that with Kamala having the background of being in the criminal justice system, knowing how these things work, knowing how the laws don't really protect us, could give her a leg, could give her, a one up on doing something to better protect us as Americans, Black Americans, if that's even a thing. Y'all, heavy stuff. I should have set a trigger warning in beforehand because I literally cannot even believe. I literally don't even have the words outside of get your people, whoever you're connected to. If Kamala's going to be the choice, that's better than old ass motherfucking half dead Joe. Which I mean, at least he's showing compassion. I can promise you, Trump is not going to come out and say anything. He's probably said it's fine people on both sides. We have to get out and vote at this point. And every time that I'm up here on a review, every time that I'm up here coming to you with some tea, every time that I come up here and I'm on some rah rah blah blah celebrity gossip entertainment, I'm going to remind y'all that we need to get out, we need to galvanize, we need to unionize, and at least not have run the risk of having someone who's saying that police should be immune from prosecution. Period. Point blank. That's all I got. Um, I want to know what you guys think. Drop down in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Come on, baby.